Hi, this is Daisy from Her Time, and I just want to welcome you today as you have chosen to watch this episode with us. I'm going to have my friends introduce themselves, and then I'll give you some more information as we get started. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Jeanette.
I'm Regina.
I'm Rosie.
Hi, ladies. It's good to have you here. It's good to be together again. It's been a while. I know a lot has been going on at the beginning of this summer, and we're in the middle of that. So we are taking advantage of the latter half of that. I just want to tell our viewers, remind them of our email address, hertime4talk@gmail.com. And we would love to hear comments from you. I know some of you have chosen to communicate with us through the email, and we really do appreciate that. The other thing I want to remind you about is that obviously you're watching a YouTube channel, and it's Her Time for Talk, again, just like the email is spelled out. So we welcome you to subscribe to the channel so that you can get notifications when we actually post a new episode. You can get notified for that. You can also leave us comments on there. We do read them and we do take them seriously. You can follow us on Instagram and also on Facebook at this point. We now have a Her Time for Talk Facebook page. So we welcome you to join us in those on those platforms as well. So ladies, we're going to talk about aging gracefully. Aging gracefully. And I know for a lot of women, especially in the latter stages of development, it's on our minds. You know, it's a deliberate, intentional, I want to say practice of ours is that our goal is to age gracefully. But what does that all mean? You know, what does it mean when you hear the concept or the idea of aging? What does aging say to you? Jeanette, how do you react to that word? You know, when you think or reflect on it, what does that mean for you?
Okay, so I might shock y'all a little bit. Okay, so I have a sister, and we both have talked about this in the past. And she has always been the type of person that has always wanted to oh, I can't wait to be a little old lady and sit on my rocking chair in my front porch and get discounts everywhere and all these things. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm fighting it the whole way through. I don't want to get old. And honestly, I really, every time I think about, oh, I don't want to get old. I don't want to get old. Oh, Lord, please help me. You know, I feel like I'm always, I don't know, because I work a lot with young people and I'm constantly surrounded by young people. And I feel sometimes like I actually get along better with young people. I think like I'm just like a kid sometimes still, but my body says otherwise. My face says otherwise. My hair says otherwise. Body aches tell me otherwise. So I don't know if I'm the best person to talk about gracefully aging, because I'm kind of fighting it the whole way through.
Yeah, but that's part of the conversation, right? It's let's just be honest. You know, when I think about aging, you know, first of all, I think we limit ourselves if we're just talking about aging in the physical sense, because aging is happening, you know, in our complete self. You know, it's our minds, it's our thoughts, it's our speech, it's all of these things. But when I think about aging, it is moving forward for me. You know, it is something that is future oriented. And, you know, similar to Jeanette, you mentioned doing a lot of ministry and work with younger people. I worked for 20 years with college students, and I remember getting to the point where, is this still doable for me? You know, can I, at my age, work really well with someone who's 18, you know? But thank God he had me there for 20 years because I feel like my mind is still young. My mind is still aware of the world as it exists and not just sitting in an old age place. So how about, what we already know that aging is this fear factor thing for Jeanette, but
For me too.
Regina, how about gracefully? What does it mean to be graceful?
For me, I feel like just accepting how it comes, just accepting it the way it is. I'm grateful for my gray hair because it reminds me of my dad. I'm grateful for my my lines around my eyes because it means I laugh a lot. I'm grateful, for my, I don't know. I'm not grateful for any of my sagging skin. That's the one thing I'm not grateful for. But what are we gonna do with all that?
Yeah.
But I'm grateful for those things because I know that I've lived a good life. Here I am 50 and I'm not the type to be like, oh, I'm going to be 29 forever. No, like I want people to know I'm 50 and yeah, I'm getting older, but I'm enjoying this time in my life.
Yeah.
So I think just being grateful for where you are at the time you are. If you're 30, be grateful that, you can pop out of bed right away. When you're 40, be grateful that, you have, still a good digestive system. So as you get older, just be grateful for what you have.
Yeah.
So you're equating grace with gratitude then.
Bottom line,
That's cool. I like that. So Celine, any ideas on what gracefully aging means?
I think for me, it's just going through the stages of life with, grace and just having a good attitude about it, even though I'm learning, to learning that aspect of it, because like Jeanette, I'm still trying to deal with this, entering this new phase in my life. But I just think about just entering this stage specifically just with love and kindness and just moving forward and trying to just accept it, that's what I think of.
Okay. And one of the ways obviously is what Regina talked about, which is just being grateful for where you are in life at that point. This makes me think about how aging or getting older was handled when I was a kid, because parents and older people, aunts and older siblings and grandmothers, they really do model attitude for us at home. So can you think of how aging was handled at home by your mom or your grandmother or your aunts talking? How did they handle aging?
My mom and my aunt specifically, they always had this young attitude, and one of the ways that they would handle it is by dressing nicely, always looking their best, just being positive. I mean, hello, my grandmother lasted until she was 106. And my mom right now is 75 and she looks amazing. I just had someone say, oh my gosh, your mother looks so good. So my mom has always been one to really take care of herself, look well, dress well. And so, she's one that really doesn't complain. She's like, if I'm going to be hurting, I'm just going to keep moving. So, and that's been her attitude, I'm just going to keep moving. And she's been so gracious, and she just aged and has been aging gracefully.
Yeah. Jeanette, any similarities there with you and growing up? I know right now you're like, get out of here, age. But
well, one of the things I was thinking about is that the alternative to not aging, not getting old, is to be gone. I don't want to be gone. So yes, let me go ahead and age. but I was thinking about I don't know, I look back at pictures of my grandmother. Um, I lost my maternal grandmother when I was 12. And then my paternal grandmother, I was like 34, I think, or 33. Anyway, but I look at pictures of them at my age now, and I'm like, oh wow, I look way younger than them. Like I feel like they
Oh,
were definitely more, I don't know, like they looked already like grandmas when they were
Mhm.
54.
got it.
Like they
Yeah.
looked older, they dressed older, the way they carried themselves was, from what I remember, was older always, and as far as youthfulness, like my mom, she's 74 and she's very youthful in like her attitude, and she's, unfortunately she's dealt with a lot of illness, so that
Mhm.
has affected her. But as far as her spirit, and
Yeah.
she loves to laugh, she loves to be silly with people, she has great energy. Like when we go places, she loves to travel and do things like that.
Mhm.
So anyway, I don't know if I answered the question, but as far as people in my life and how I always kind of felt like my grandmothers specifically, and even my grandparents, my grandfathers, they always seemed older to me. I don't know. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm being a little more youthful than they were at that age.
Mm.
And I don't
Yeah.
know if maybe, I don't know if it was the times or I don't know what, but yeah.
It's funny because I watch movies or I watch something on television and I see a woman specifically, and she looks really old and kind of worn to
Mhm,
me. And then they'll say her age. And
mhm.
I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I can't believe that you're that young, you know.
Mhm,
Mm.
Well, this person is only 55. And I'm thinking, man, I'm 62. Like,
yeah.
Greek, do I look? I turn to my husband and it's like, really? Yeah, I don't know obviously we don't know people's whole story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so Jeanette, kids will look at older people and think, ew, they're really old. But then we get to the stage,
Yeah.
and it's like, man, I don't feel that old or I don't look that old. So I think we're just getting younger and younger and
Yeah.
younger as we age.
I
So,
like that.
uh,
I I
well,
remember when I was
yeah,
little, I would think of like, I remember when I would see someone and they would tell me their age, and I would say, wow, you're old. Like my thought was, you're in your 40s and you're old. And now I'm like, oh, you're young.
yes,
Yeah.
everything changes. Everything changes.
Everything.
So, Jeanette, now, again, you started out with and I'm going to pick on you, I guess. You started
Okay.
out with, I'm doing everything I can just to, stay away from aging. I don't want to age. I don't have the attitude that my sister has. So do you remember any fear around aging when you were growing up at all? Did anybody around you just have the same attitude, for example, about not wanting to age?
Um, I just know, okay, like for instance, I don't know why this just popped in my mind, but I was thinking about my grandmother, my paternal grandmother that passed away when I was in my 30s. I remember I always used to, like she would, let's say she was quejándose, like saying like
Complaining.
I'm like,
Complaining.
yeah,
Yeah.
complaining like, oh, this hurts or that hurts. And I remember her saying one time, and oh my gosh, that got me so upset. She said, "Ay, ya no sirvo para nada." Like I'm not good for anything.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not good for anything anymore. And I was like, what? Don't say that. You're good to be my grandma. I'm like, you're like So please don't say that. But I remember that I kind of feel like her specifically, because my maternal grandmother passed away when I was a little girl, but my grandmother always kind of felt like, well, I'm not good for anything else now. I'm just,
Mm,
so I don't know if I don't feel that way. It's not that I feel that way, but I know that was something that I looked at like, wow, like when people get to
Yeah,
that age, they feel like they're just not
life
good
is
for
over
anymore.
kind of
And
thing. Yeah.
yeah, like I'm just not useful anymore.
mm,
Actually, I just remembered something. My mom, I just finished doing this huge project, and I directed a musical, and my mom was helping me making something for me, and she did such a beautiful job with it. It was gorgeous, and I remember saying, "Well, Mom, I don't want to put a lot on you," because she kept asking me like, "What else can I do? What else can I do?" And I said, "Well, I don't want to put a lot on you, And she said, "Well, I want to feel needed, or
mm.
I want to be useful to you. I want to be needed, And I was like, "You're always needed." Like, oh my gosh, I don't know, but that really, I
Yeah.
don't know, maybe there's something about that, about how when you get older, some people feel like maybe they're not needed as much or useful, or I don't know if
Yeah,
useful.
and I think it's
Yeah.
something important to remember as we're engaging with parents who are older, external family who's older, is that we need to remember that everybody needs in their lives, to whatever extent, obviously, that they can, they need to feel useful. They need to feel like they're a part of what is going on. Reg, anything that's been said that resonates with you as you think about not just the aging part, but stepping into it gracefully, you know?
I feel like I am, right where I need to be. I mean, I have I started late. I had my boys when I was in my 30s. I had a toddler at 40. And so I feel like they keep me young,
Mhm.
and so I have a, 13-year-old that yeah, I'm hip with all the stating, like all the statements and all the talk, and I know what's going on. And, my son calls me cringy, and, I don't care, but they keep me young,
Mhm.
um, and being an older mom, it doesn't bother me because I feel like I have this, I don't know, wisdom. I don't know, more of a
Yeah,
wisdom. And not that, moms, people don't just figure it out. They do. Um, but it's kind of fun to have younger kids, at this point. I remember when Roman was born, and I said, man, when Roman graduates, I'll be 50. That just seemed like so far away. Like I
yeah,
couldn't
Mhm.
imagine it,
right.
and now he's graduated and I'm 50, and I'm like, that just went so fast.
Hmm.
And they say that it even goes faster, so from the time you turn 20 to the time you turn 40, it goes by kind of fast. When you're a kid, time is slow. But then, from the time you're 40 to the time you're 60, it just flies. And then when you're in your 70s and 80s, like every day is a gift, So I'm just taking it as every day is a gift.
Mm.
So in saying that, then I'm going to ask you a question that I was not going to ask, but I will ask you, as you think about future, as you think about aging, this continual process, obviously, that we're in, is there anything that you are looking forward to? Because you mentioned wisdom specifically, and people equate wisdom with, older people and maturity and all those positive words. But is there anything you're looking forward to? Getting
Oh,
wiser?
100%. I mean, I'm like Lisette. Like I want to sit on the porch and sit on my rocking chair and watch the sunset and watch my grandkids run around. I am like, all about the let's retire and, you know, I want to bake pies, and you know, right now I'm working 2 jobs, and you know, I'm trying to like keep up with everything. I want to be to the point where I can like get up and bake breakfast for my kids and my grandkids, and you know,
Mm,
like I don't know. I'm looking forward to that. It
yeah.
might not be until I'm like 70 because I don't think I'll ever retire. But when I do, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Joseline, are you looking forward to anything in your aging gracefully?
um, I'm looking forward to retirement. I'm like 8 years away, maybe a little bit more. So I'm like, if I could retire now, I would. I think, you know, just not only growing in wisdom but you know, maybe setting new goals. You know,
Mhm.
you'll be in or we'll be in a different phase or a different age, and as we retire, but just thinking of new ideas, new things to do in life. You know, I've always thought about like opening a boutique, you know, somewhere in a small
Mm,
town, and having like a little coffee shop right next to it. So I think about those things, and I think about traveling. You know, so right now it's a lot of contemplating and thinking about what can I do, you know, as not
yeah.
only as I age, but as I retire in the future. So, and keeping myself young, like I know we're all aging, but just trying to maintain that healthy lifestyle and taking care of myself, and yeah, all
Mhm.
that good stuff that comes along with aging.
I think one of the things for me is, you know, I look at marriage, you know, my daughters, this will be November and December. This year will be their 5th wedding anniversary for each of them. And I remember going into the season of weddings, you know, marriages, in my home, and being scared to death, like, oh my gosh, you know, I know how to be a mom. I know how to run a household with 4 people living in it. I know how to do all of this stuff. And then there in my face is this whole idea that it's just going to be my husband and myself. It's like,
Mm,
oh my gosh,
Empty
what am I going to do
nester.
with that? Empty nesters. And so I went into it thinking, okay, I need to get ready for what it's like to just live life day to day with my husband, because we haven't done that, had not done that for 28 years. You know, it was like, my gosh, we haven't been alone
mm-hmm.
28 years. And now it's like, I don't want it any other way. This is it. I get to live day
Get
to
out.
day with my
You've been here long
husband.
enough.
I get to live with my best buddy, you know, the one who I can, you know, laugh with, cry with, get mad at. And so that's part of my aging, is that I
Mm,
get opportunities that I don't get before that. You know, before 5 years ago, I didn't have the option of not being a mom or parenting daily or caring for the house or whatever, or cooking. But I have the option now. You know, I have the option now. So I love having a partner aging with me, you know.
mm.
So I look forward to the grandparent part, which is coming, you know, for us.
Oh,
And
yay.
and I'm looking forward to that. Like I'm a little nervous about it, honestly. But I guess, you know, part of the aging gracefully is, you know, Regina said it early on, and it's gratitude, but it's also anticipating that there are things still to experience that I'm going to be grateful for, you know,
Yeah.
and grandchildren is one of those things. So, okay. So in looking back, because I know, you know, people watching are thinking, some of them might be on, you know, on the side of the spectrum where Jeanette is, like, trying to avoid it, you know, with at all costs. And then others like Regina, who is like, I can't wait to sit, and to cook and to whatever. I'm looking forward to it. But my question then is, what would you tell your younger self? Reg, what would you tell your younger self now that you are 50?
I think if I went back to like my 21-year-old self, I think I would tell me, take care of your body. Number one, take care of your body, take care of your skin, take care of your body. It's your body is your suitcase, and you want to take care of your body.
Yeah.
And another thing is, I think I would tell my younger self that all the mistakes that you're going to make, God already knows, because I feel like when I was 21 and I made a mistake, like the world was going to end. And so I would tell my younger self, like, stay with the Lord and stay in God's guidance. But if you make a mistake, he already knew. He's, and he still loves you, and he still is, guiding you, and don't take it on yourself so harshly, So I think those are the two things I would tell myself. And save money. Save money.
Okay. So Celine, what would you tell your 21-year-old? Let's stay on the 21-year-old.
Yeah. I would say to my younger self, give more thought to your decisions, the decisions that you've made, really think about your actions and how you went about things. Because obviously, when you're younger, you encounter and do things that you probably said that you would never do. And I would definitely just tell myself, I would stop myself and look at myself and say, give more thought about what decisions you're going to be making moving ahead. Because obviously they pave the way, and, wrong decisions lead to consequences that you have to deal with for the rest of your life. So I would just say, and think about that, and continue to build your relationship with the Lord. Remember that God is the focus of your life. And yeah, that's what I would tell my younger self.
Jeanette, I'm going to ask the question to you a little differently. And that is because, so many times when we think about aging, we're thinking about the physical self. And so what I'd like to do is ask you about what would you tell your younger self about your mind and your thinking and your emotions?
That's actually what was on my mind when I was thinking about the answer. I would tell myself, and I'm gonna look like at myself right now, but I would tell myself, Jeanette, love yourself. Have self-worth. Like, you deserve
That's good.
You deserve good. You deserve better. You deserve the best. Don't settle. Don't settle. Love yourself. Trust God. Seek God. Don't feel like you can change things on your own. Like, no, you need the Lord at all times. Yes. Do not try to manipulate and change things on your own. You deserve better. You are a good person inside, but you need to trust God.
Amen. Amen. Well, ladies, thank you. I appreciate that. I think, what we have shared has really spoken to those of you who are watching. It really has made an impact. I'm sure there are things that you will continue to reflect on. One of the things that I want to share in terms of my relationship with God is to my 21-year-old self. I would want to say, stay with it. stay with it. You might have a lot of questions as you get older. Marriage is coming, having children is coming, all of these other opportunities are coming. But all of that, make sure that you stay with God, because God is the thread that will keep it all together. When I was 39 years old, and again, I've already said I'm 62. When I was 39 years old, I started to feel like, what do I have to give? What is it that, God can do with me right now? And he, in a divine moment, and it was a divine moment, he gave me Psalm 92, verse 14, and it says, in your old age, you will bear fruit, you will be fresh and healthy. And I remember thinking, I was about to give it up. I was about to, okay, it's my daughter's turn, it's younger people. And I feel like my life as it is now started when I was 39 years old. And it started because God gave me the platform of Psalm 92:14. So I share that with you for when you have doubts about, is it too late for me? It isn't. It isn't. Keep going and stay with God, because he's got plans for you. Amen. Ladies, I love you. Take care. Be blessed. Bye-bye.